Good morning. Yeah. When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, then something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. That's when I look to you, hey, and the world is all right with me, yeah. Just one look to you, and I know it's gonna be, sing it, a lovely, lovely day, lovely, yes, yeah, a lovely day. You guys are a good choir. When the road that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, that's when I look to you, hey, and the world is all right with me, yeah. Just one look to you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. Yeah. A lovely day. Then I look to you, and the world is all right with me. Just one look to you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. No, a lovely day, a lovely day. You caught it. Yeah. A lovely day. Love, 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 love. A lovely day. Do, 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 do. No, no, da, do, de. No, no, da, do, de. No, do, do, ba, do, 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 do. I mean, come on. Wow. Gabbie, you're a legend. Fun fact, Gabbie lives in Atlanta and flew out to sing here today. But wait, there's a story. So, because we kind of want to have local musicians, right? So every year we have a global survey where we ask you questions, and it's really meaningful for us to get your feedback on. And we always have a giveaway to make it an incentive, and Gabbie was the winner. She got a Sonos speaker, and I had the task to email her and tell her the good news. And before I did that, I looked up her profile on Creative Mornings, because she's a participant in the Creative Mornings Atlanta chapter. And I fell down this deep rabbit hole, and I discovered that she's an incredible jazz vocalist. And so I sent her an email and said, hey, you won, I need your address. And P.S., your voice is magical. I would love for you to open one of our New York City events. To which she promptly responded, let's make that happen. Gabbie, people like you are literally the people I live for. Like, enthusiastic, just flowing with ease. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to George, her husband, who came with her. So, yeah. All right, good Creative Mornings, everyone. I'm Tina Roth-Eisenberg. I'm the founder of Creative Mornings, and I'm the New York City chapter host. And today, I'm welcoming you from the ancestral land of the Lenape people. And we here at HQ, we recognize the significance of Brooklyn and New York City for Lenape people, past and present. I also want to give an extremely warm welcome to Autumn Thomas, who is... She so very generously offered to volunteer sign our event today, and I want to thank Snezana, who made this connection possible. Thank you both so much. And OMG, like for those of you who have never been here, like we've never been here. This is new for everyone. And it's just so pretty, it kind of makes my heart explode a little bit. So welcome to the Morgan Library and Museum, everybody. I admit, when Jennifer, where is she? Jennifer, can you raise your hand? There she is, there she's waving. When Jennifer Coulter, she's the Director of Education and Public Programs here at the Morgan, reached out to me and invited us to bring our community here. I wasn't even trying to play it cool because I can't. Who's here for the first time at the Morgan? Oh, so many of you, that's great. So for those of you that might not know where you are and what this venue is, the Morgan is a cultural gem in the heart of New York City. It's both a museum and an independent research library where you can enjoy exhibitions and historic spaces that celebrate human creativity across centuries, like literally from 4000 BCE to the present. And after Liza's talk, the team at the Morgan is so generous to open the doors to us so you can visit the current exhibitions. For example, you'll be able to immerse yourself in Victorian era portrait photography by Julia Margaret Cameron, or you can see artifacts by Jane Austen, or the recent acquisition celebrating the Morgan's centennial. But plus, of course, you'll get to wander the Morgan's historic, breathtaking rooms, which I love so much. So if the Morgan speaks to you, it sure does to me. Make sure to check out their calendar of events and come back for more. And to Jennifer and the entire team and Carl at the AV booth, thank you for your generosity and for making this so easy on us. We love being here.
Hello. We have 30-second pitches that will happen at the end of the event after Q&A. Will the following people come meet me at this side of the stage right towards the end of the Q&A? We have Sharon, Patrick Davis, Benjamin Farber, and Divya. 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds. I will chase you with the xylophone. That is all after the talk. See you there.
Thank you, Exa. And I want to congratulate all of you who were brave to put your name into the 30-second pitch wheel. I keep saying that Creative Mornings makes you brave, so yay you. 2 months ago, we had Timothy Goodman speak at Parsons. And I asked the audience to stand up if they've ever made a friend at a Creative Mornings event. What I didn't expect is to see this. So out of 470 attendees, 450 were standing. And of course, me again, I had a complete feelings meltdown. You all making friends at our events is pretty much the only metric I personally care about. At Creative Mornings, we call that ROF, Return on Friendship. And nothing makes me happier than finding other humans who also believe that making friends and being in loving community is the medicine our society needs. Also, fun fact, my friend Nancy, who's here, I think for the first time, she's sitting in the first row, she texted me, she's like, everyone's so nice here. And I was like, that's the point. That's why we're doing this. So one of these humans who also recognizes that the medicine our society needs is this incredibly remarkable human, Ruth Ann Harnish. Last year, Ruth Ann became our first ever patron, gifting us a staggering $1 million and cheering us on to think bigger. I never asked, I never reached out to her. She just walked in and said, this needs to grow. So her donation gave us the permission to build a new way for all of you to connect and make friends besides these monthly events. And it's called Creative Mornings Clubs. Clubs are small, community-led gatherings that bring the generous, inclusive spirit of Creative Mornings to your local neighborhood any day of the week. So if there's something you love doing and you want to make friends while doing it, you literally just qualified to start a club. So anyone within this community can raise their hand and apply to host a club. And a year into this experiment, we have 40 clubs up and running here in New York, and over 6,000 of you have attended a club in the last year. That is absolutely wild, so congrats. So you're probably wondering, well, what do they look like? Well, there's, for example, the Making Comics Club. You draw. Lenny teaches you how to make dumplings. Matthew's Idealist Club meets up weekly and dreams up good actions, and then they do things like giving flowers to strangers. And Ricardo, where are you? Is it back there? In Ricardo's Cinema Paradiso Club, you get to explore the rich history of cinema. He also has the best snack tables, hands down. In Katie's Write Shop, Katie's here in the middle somewhere, you get to silently write for an hour with others, first thing on a Monday morning. At the Make Time Club, Shelby creates a space where you get to make time to work on your creative projects. Nelson takes you on tours through the city and makes you look at your surroundings with the photocopels. And then in Jillian's Sunny Bun Picnic Club, you get to, well, picnic. And the last three clubs that I just mentioned, Jillian, Shelby, and Nelson, they just hit their 1-year mark of hosting. They decided themselves, because a community is not a community until it self-organizes, as we believe here at HQ, they decided themselves they want to do something about it. So I'll let them tell you about what they have planned in their own words, so come on up. And when they're done, they're doing us the honor to read our manifesto, which is sort of reminding us of our values and why we do what we do here at Creative Mornings. So please give a rock star round of applause for Shelby, Nelson, and Jillian.
A year ago, clubs were an experiment. They were a hunch that people craved these small, intimate communities where they could connect and make and share more than once a month. And since then, we've hosted sketch circles, photo walks, dumpling-fueled discussions, writing workshops, and countless moments where strangers became friends and creative collaborators. And now, a year later, we've organized the Clubiversary to celebrate all the clubs at once. So join us next week, RSVP, next Saturday, for a celebration picnic at McCarran Park. So whether you're a regular club goer or merely club curious, pack a snack, spread a blanket, and join us club host for a celebration of a year of clubs. And maybe you'll find a new club to either explore or make your own. Manifesto time. Everyone is creative.
A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate you, and encourage you to make the things you love.
We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections, in learning from others, in hugs and high fives.
We bring together people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities around the world.
Everyone is welcome. Woo!
Aren't they the best? Yes. Okay. Each one of these dots represents a Creative Mornings chapter around the world that is run by volunteers. So we have over 1,000 volunteers across the world that make it possible that a staggering 20,000 people get together every month for free in 70 countries. So Creative Mornings is a community-led labor of love, celebrating human connection and creativity. And our events wouldn't be possible without the generosity of everyone here involved. You for showing up, our dedicated volunteers, our speakers, musical guests, tech teams, venue hosts, patrons, and especially our local and global partners. So let's just bask a bit in gratitude for them, shall we? So, a big giant thank you to our global partner Adobe for recognizing the impact Creative Mornings is having on the global ecosystem of creativity. We've been partnering with them for over 8 years in different capacities, and I have never been more impressed than watching them build what they're building now, a program called the Adobe Creative Apprenticeship. It offers mentorship for real-world projects. It offers mentorship, real-world projects, and job opportunities for aspiring creatives. So if you're in need of an apprentice, you can apply just like us, Creative Mornings did, and be matched with a pre-vetted young creative to join your team. We are so lucky. We just got our apprentice this week. Finn, stand up. Where are you? He's not only talented, he's also the most loving, positive person I think we've ever met. So we're really lucky to have Finn on our team now. So check out the apprenticeship program if you can, if you're interested for either taking on an apprentice or becoming an apprentice. I promise you, you will be impressed what you see. I love this program so much because we all needed those first opportunities to break into the industry, and someone like me who's been working for 25 years, and I started out as a graphic designer, we really owe it to the young to mentor them. So thank you, Adobe, for showing us the way. Are you glad we're welcoming you with coffee when you get here? I am. I'm also officially over-caffeinated. So our local partners help us cover the cost for coffee and breakfast, and I want to thank them as well. First off, our beloved local partner, MPB. They make it so easy to give unused camera gear a new life. So if you have an old camera sitting around or some camera accessory, you can sell them, set them free on mpb.com. It's really easy. And if you're into all things photography, make sure to check out their original content, from competitions to interviews to photo, video, kit guides, whatever. It's wonderful. We here at HQ love MPB, and also MPB is one of those partners where they show up at every event. Where's Maggie? Where is she? There she is. She's always here, and we love that. So thank you, MPB, so much. And then there's our long-standing local partner, Harvest. Just like us, they're a New York City-based company. And I appreciate that they make me think about time, and I'm a lover of quotes. And every time I see a quote and it's time-related, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna write that one down, and I'm gonna share it. So here we go. It is the time you have wasted for your rose that makes your rose so important, by Antoine Saint-Exupéry. If you think about time in your day-to-day, if you need a simple and beautiful way to track time, manage expenses, forecasting, invoices, check out getharvest.com. They made something quite boring actually really easy and beautiful to use. And thank you, Harvest, so much. All right, now we're gonna play a little game. Get ready. It's called Stand Up If. Here's how it's worked. I'm gonna project sentences to the screen, and if they apply to you, and if you can stand up, please stand up. All right, ready? Stand up if you're kind of impressed with yourself for socializing this early on a Friday morning. Great. Stand up if this is your first Creative Mornings event. Ooh, so many! I will quite literally give you a hug afterwards if you want. I'm not kidding. Stand up if you're visiting from another city. Wow. Okay, so we know Gabbie's from Atlanta, but who thinks, no, keep standing, who thinks they came the farthest away? Okay, where? Sydney? Everybody sit down. We're good, we're good. Stand up if you consider yourself a creative person. Yes. Yes. Living life is inherently a creative act, everyone. Stand up if you have recently made something that you're proud of. Oh my God, look at you! I did not expect that. That is cool. Okay, what is it? Oh no, you're too many. We can't. No, that doesn't work. Okay, stand up if you've been low-key eyeing someone you love to chat with. Okay, I don't believe you. Is somebody standing? Because this is for you. Keep standing if you're going to be brave and introduce yourself to that person. All right, that was fun. Thank you so much for playing. All right. Now we're finally coming to the main attraction of today's event. Help me welcome today's speaker, Liza Donnelly, a force of a woman whose career is nothing short of impressive. Liza is a celebrated writer and cartoonist whose work has graced the pages of The New Yorker for over 4 decades. She's the author and editor of 18 books, most notably the Very Funny Ladies, A History of Women Cartoonists of The New Yorker. She's a pioneer in live digital drawing, capturing events from the Oscars to the White House in real time with grace and warmth. And I had the chance to meet her at a really fancy lunch a few weeks ago and Googled the heck out of her after that lunch and instantly invited her to speak here today. So give a rock star of applause for Liza Donnelly.
Thank you. Oh my God. Hello, New York creatives. I can't believe this. This is so exciting. Thank you, Tina. I met Tina because of Ruth Ann Harnish, who you saw on the screen a few moments ago. She is a force of nature. She is also one of the funders of my documentary. So thank you, Tina. I mean, thank you, Ruth Ann. And thank you to the Morgan Library. If I'd told my 22-year-old self that I was going to be speaking at the Morgan Library someday, I would have been flabbergasted. It's a New York institution for sure. And I want to thank also Gabbie. I just met Gabbie, and how did you know that was my favorite song? That Bill Withers song. I love that song. So I thought I would start warming you up by finding the clicker. Obvious place. Okay. By showing you some cartoons just to get you warmed up. You're pretty warmed up as it is, I think. It's like, I mean, I'm hoping you laugh at these cartoons, but you don't have to. That's just a drawing. Right? That was during the pandemic when we emerged. Also pandemic drawing. It could apply to today as well. I feel the same way right now and in our political situation. Thank you. And since you guys are creatives, you'll find this kind of interesting. I drew this on my iPad. I usually draw on paper when I work for The New Yorker, but I drew this on my iPad because I'd broken my right arm. I'm right-handed. So I taught myself how to draw with my left hand. It's not easy, but if you use the iPad, it's easier. So, and The New Yorker bought it and published it. So this was the first drawing I had in The New Yorker back in the dark ages. They did a lot of sequential drawings back then. And the next one, I thought, I usually don't show this next drawing, was the first one they bought. But since you guys are all artists and creatives of some kind, I'm hoping that you get it. Maybe. It's Cezanne's three principles and then a TV set. That's a TV set. So that was great to sell, but I was kind of nervous because nobody would understand it. But I grew up, I started at the New Yorker in 1979, and I was one of 4 women out of dozens of men at the New Yorker. I didn't set out to be any kind of trailblazer. That's what Tina called me when we talked on Zoom before this event. She called me a trailblazer. I just wanted to be a cartoonist. But for me, trailblazing means a desire to experiment, to explore, to learn, no matter what. And that's what I did from the start. Now, so much was going on in the world during my starting at the New Yorker. It was, as you guys know, historically, it was a really crazy time. And one of those things, Tina said she was going to mention it, but she didn't, was punk. Punk is the theme this month, right, for the Creative Mornings, and punk. So punk is not something I really thought about. It was happening in the time when I was living in New York in the 70s. Frankly, it scared me. They were all about shock and being unpredictable and anger and change and experimentation, and it was part of the culture at the time. Fine art was about conceptual art and all kinds of things like that. And I was watching it. I was not a part of it, but I was certainly influenced by it. I absorbed all that attitude. My work may not be punk by any means. In fact, I'm probably quite the opposite of punk in my work. I don't try to shock. I try to talk and dialogue with my work. But that ethos at the time helped me in to feel that I could do anything, or at least I should try. So the other day, this is a new thought for me. I thought to myself, what if I wasn't supposed to be a cartoonist? At a very young age, I started drawing funny pictures to make my mother happy. I had a supportive family, but like many of us, even in supportive families, there were problems. My mother was an alcoholic, and my sister was a troubled person. Did these forces, make me become who I was, or who I am? Was drawing a way to save myself? With every drawing that I do, am I trying to bring my mother back? Am I trying to connect with her? Am I trying to make her happy with every drawing I do? Am I trying to make you guys happy with every drawing I do? Am I trying to connect with everybody, even now that she's gone? She died in 1977, but I think my mother is here with us because she led me to connect with the world. My mother would clip out those little spot drawings in the New Yorker. You know what I'm talking about? Those little non-cartoon drawings. She clipped those out and saved them in an envelope for me because she was trying to encourage me. Little did she know I wanted to do something bigger than that. I wanted to say something with my art. We got the magazine in our home, and I just loved the cartoons, even though I didn't understand them. I thought they were drawing for me. That was my world. I was a cartoonist since age 7. It's one of my early drawings. It took me a while. This is a James Thurber drawing from an early New Yorker. He was still is one of my favorite cartoonists for the New Yorker. It took me a while studying the drawings. At first in college, I thought, I don't want to be a part of that magazine. It's very stuffy, but it's not. Even back in the 60s and 70s, if you look closely, it was not stuffy. Maybe the liquor ads, the fur ads were stuffy, but the content was quite something. My attraction to the New Yorker, I discovered the nuance of the drawings by studying them, the nuance of the drawings. My attraction became to the New Yorker was that it allowed artists to be who they are. It gave them room to explore. It was political, but in a quiet way. And commentary in the drawings did not force you to think any particular way. This is Steinberg, another one of my favorite influences. Because, despite the word cartoon, it's not always about the joke. It was a political time in the 70s. It's always political, but I mean, you can imagine in the 70s how fraught it was with the Vietnam War, Watergate, civil rights, women's rights, assassinations. And I yearned to be political because I wanted to do something with my ability to draw. I didn't think I was allowed to be political because I think I didn't know why. I didn't think I had the opinions. I think that was gendered thinking on my part. My parents were supportive, but the culture didn't seem to be. But the New Yorker was a place that had it all in terms of the drawings for me, from my viewpoint. It had art, commentary, expression, and humor. So I set my sights. This is one of my early political cartoons from high school. She's saying, I can't even remember what she's saying. Hey, guess what? Apathy's out now. Voting is in. Thank you. So my time was, as I became an adult, was just post-second wave feminism, at the height of youth counterculture. The culture told me I didn't have to conform to gender roles. I could be an artist, and that's what I did. The political turmoil of the times, just a few miles from my home in Washington, D.C., made me want to do something with my skills. My parents did think outside of the box. We moved to Rome for a year, and that was incredible. I was 16 years old, and I grew up a Quaker, which guided me to believe that there is light in every single person, and you need to look for that. Look, everybody is unique and worthwhile. In college, I traveled to the Soviet Union, 1976, and drew what I saw. Creativity for me means introspection, of course, but it's so crucial to look outwards, particularly if your goal is, as mine always has been, to connect. So connection's not easy. We know that, either face-to-face or in your art. It's not easy. And I get frequently asked about creative block. Do I get artist block? Well, of course I do. Here's a cartoon about it. You guys can relate, I guess. It comes in either small doses or sometimes in long stretches, and there are always going to be blocks. It's just so you have to accept them as part of the process. And they come for a variety of reasons, sometimes inexplicably. In the mid-1980s, I was not selling well to the New Yorker. It was really tough. Did my editor not understand what I was doing? Was I in a bad place personally? Yes. Was what I was drawing complete rubbish? Submitting to the New Yorker, in case you don't know, is always a lottery. So we all submit every week, and they either buy one or they don't. So it's not like you're assigned something and you get it in there and you get the money. You're a creative person, so you come up with ideas every week, and they pick one, maybe not. Sometimes it can go for months. So that time period was really tough for me. I was not selling. So I decided I would go and become a painter. Great idea, right? And I thought I was pretty good at it. But in essence, it led me back to drawing cartoons, my first love. But but I had to go away to come back. Certainly, creative blocks come when the world is the world's in turmoil and turning upside down. For creatives, that's the same principle sometimes, that it's sometimes necessary to go away and come back. You know, if you have a block, people ask me, go get a cup of coffee, go for a walk, talk to a friend, get out of the studio, whatever, do something else and come back. And that can be for short periods or for long periods. Adversity in my childhood home and in the world at large first led me to cartooning. In the 80s and 90s, I'd done some political cartoons for the New Yorker, but I think I was cruising, doing drawings about food, making fun of cartoons. That's a political cartoon, one of my first political cartoons for them. Back when, this is in the late 70s, early 80s, when the New York was even more dangerous, if any of you were here then. It has a different meaning now, I think. But I was doing cartoons about food. New York was becoming a really foodie town in the 80s, and it was easy. They were easy targets. And I made fun of yuppies. And then, in 2001, we were all shaken out of what we were accustomed to. 9/11 was a huge wake-up call for me, and I know millions of other people, not just me, obviously. And I thought I'd stop cartooning. I thought, what am I doing? Why am I doing these silly cartoons? I don't get it. Should I be doing this? And then I did this next drawing, and the New Yorker bought it and ran it. And I felt I was back on track. But I made a commitment to myself to do more with my work, to try to go bigger with my ideas. I made a vow to say more with my abilities, back to my original plan as an 18-year-old. Luckily, these aspirations coincided with the advent of the internet, so I was able to look more and more at what was going on globally. And I turned more globally, but I became frustrated. I'd always assumed that I had to draw about American life since that was my experience. I can't draw about what it's like to be an Afghan woman. I can't. I have no idea. I've always been a feminist, and I searched for connection with women globally in my brain and looking and reading. And I saw that we were connected, sadly, in ways that are not so good. And I drew this cartoon, which was drawn for the internet, so that's why it's for the phone. So we do have something in common, and I started doing more and more political cartoons in that reign, not for the New Yorker, but for the internet. Using different types of medium, using the traditional New Yorker style or the color style. So the role of the creative is to listen and to look. Listen to yourself as to others, but really look at what's going on around you. Art is about evolution. Like, take a painting, and think about it, when it was made, who made it, why did they make it? Like, why did Duchamp put a urinal on the wall? I remember spending hours looking at Rauschenberg. Like, why are they doing that? What does it mean? And it sits in its time period as well. For me, what it meant was to shake things up. New Yorker cartoons were, in their small way, groundbreaking in 1925 when the magazine was founded by a woman and a man, by the way. They took art and combined it with text to tell us about ourselves. A New Yorker cartoon is an instantaneous sharing of a world, of an experience, the artist's experience and the artist's view of us, often with laughter, thankfully. The magazine, as artists, evolved with the changing times to create something new, the New Yorker cartoon, which really didn't exist in the form we know it now, back in 1925. There was humor, of course. There was visual humor. I can go on forever about that, but it was a new thing. Renewal is sparked by a variety of things, be it adversity, in global turmoil, personal turmoil, financial need. All of these things can lead to evolving as a creative, but you have to be open to it. Observe those around you, embrace technology and new methods of creation, which is what I've tried to do. It leads to connections with other people. And isn't that why we do what we do? Really? I've gone from drawing in sketchbooks. I still do this, but this is one of my idea sketchbooks. Words and visuals randomly placed, and it's like a random collision of ideas on a page. And I still draw on paper, but I also draw digitally. This is sped up, by the way. And that's the finished drawing eventually. I started drawing on my iPad in 2014. It was a gift. Somebody gave me an iPad, and I was watching the State of the Union address, and I started drawing what I saw, which can be boring, but I find it kind of fascinating, State of the Union. And I started drawing what I saw and putting it out immediately on Twitter, when Twitter was a thing. I don't know what it is now. It's something to avoid. And it took off. People really liked these bold drawings. They were bolder than this and simpler than that. It was a quick reaction of something that we were all paying attention to, and that's what led to a lot of the live drawing that I've done over the years. And here's an example of. I'll show you some samples. This is when I worked for CBS covering the news and awards shows and things like that. CBS had me on their morning show, and I would go in and I would draw the guests and I would draw the hosts, and they would connect me and my drawings with their social media accounts. That's what my purpose was, really. But I got to go to some great places. I was not there, but I drew that from the TV. So I got to go to the Oscars, the Tonys, and also to the White House. I don't know how much of this to show you. Cynthia Erivo. Remember, I try to capture, I don't know, remember when that happened? I try to capture things that you don't expect, like when he jumped into, Spike Lee jumped into his arms. Pharrell. Oh yeah, Lady Gaga. So that, it's about the experience. It's about sharing something that's happening in the moment. I'm not trying to render things perfectly, and I, in many cases, can't. But I went to the marches, when I started interviewing people and recording as I was drawing and interviewing them at the Women's March, the first one with the pink hats. And then during the pandemic, the Black Lives Matter drawing was done during the pandemic. I wanted community, as we all did. We were stuck at home, and we wanted to talk to other people, not just on the phone. But I took Instagram Live, and I started doing drawings every day at 5 Hi, for everybody. 10 minutes. You there? It's 5 o'clock. It's time to draw. Hi, Kieran. From Dublin, Flat Tar Heel, wherever you're from. Susan Cummings, Gretchen Maslin, my daughter. Hi, Gretchen. Anthony Coombs. Hi, Kieran. So, anyway, how are you? I hope you're safe. Our country is imploding. It's a really disturbing time. I mean, I lived through the 60s and 70s, and this is just as bad. It's frightening, and we don't have a leader. Hello, Alexandra Bowman Art. Hello. Hi. Okay, so I'll turn you around and show you some things and draw. Hi, Kate from Dublin. So I wanted to show you the finished colored piece from yesterday. I did the black line on Instagram and the color on Periscope on Twitter. Remember Periscope? So that's an example of that. And on January 6th, you guys recognize this. I was watching on television and I drew what I could, and this is one of Eugene Goodman when he stopped the insurrection, the insurrectionists from getting in deeper into where the Congress people were. A real hero. So I just drew what I was seeing and put it out there. And I also, in the last couple of years, I decided to go and cover the Trump trials. With the E. Jean Carroll trial, first I went down having no idea if I could get into the courthouse. And lo and behold, I got in, and it was not that difficult. And I drew that trial. They wouldn't let me bring my iPad or my iPhone or my iWatch, nothing electronic, which was really weird. And I went in with paper, and I drew it on paper, drew the trial on paper. In my impressions, I drew not just the actors or the main actors, but the people, the guards. I have just one example of the next trial. I went to the Trump trial, the hush money trial, and caught him sleeping. I was not in the room with him. I was in the side room with other journalists. Could watch him on a monitor, but the whole experience was quite something, and I covered it all in my drawings. But aside from that, I really love doing simple drawings of people, ordinary people. And this is one from the subway, a series of ones from the subway. I live way uptown, so I take the A train, and it's a long ride, so I have time to sketch people on my iPad. And these are from the park. But I love capturing people, ordinary people, and I sometimes even use my iPhone with my finger. This is an example of I have hundreds of these. It's kind of an obsession of mine. And I continue to do political cartoons. I think political it's a way to speak to others about what's going on, and I'm not trying to be overly opinionated in my drawings always. Just a communication that we're sharing something that's happening. And this was during Sandy Hook, I think, and I drew this on my phone with my finger because I was not at home and I just had to respond to it. So I feel very fortunate to be able to do this, to be able to draw and connect with people through my drawings. I have a regular Substack, which I do these every day. I do drawings or writing about politics or just lives, people's lives and humor. And I am very fortunate to have connections with global cartoonists. This was done during the Charlie Hebdo murders when cartoonists were murdered for drawing humor. And I think cartoons and drawings and art can really do good in the world and can help people connect with each other and either commiserate, feel like they have a community, and move on. This is the book Tina referenced, Very Funny Ladies, about the women cartoonists who started in 1925 at the magazine. They were women then. And I wrote that first in 2005 and then did another edition in 2022, because now there are equal numbers of men and women drawing cartoons for The New Yorker, which I think is fantastic. Yeah, worth an applause. And in fact, one of my colleagues is here. Emily Flake is another cartoonist for The New Yorker. So I did this book, and I thought, okay, I don't have to do that anymore. I mean, I've covered that subject. That's, we've broken that little glass ceiling. That's great, and I don't see a reason to talk about it much more. But I decided to do a documentary about it. So it's called Women Laughing, and it will be out this year, later in the fall. It's all about the women cartoonists of the New Yorker, past and present. And there are some of them there. Because we need to hear about their lives, right? We need to hear their perspective, because so many, for much of my career, the first part of my career at least, it was all men drawing humor, right? So we have to hear from women's lives. There's more people of color at the New Yorker drawing cartoons now, and we're hearing from everybody, and humor can make changes, I believe. So why not hear about what people's experiences are and talk about them and share our lives together. And I think that we need to share ideas and concern for everybody. And it's opened up for me an understanding of what it is I do and why I do it. And I think that we have to be constantly creating, and that's how we connect and keep going. Thank you, guys. I want to take it.
Okay. Did I go long? Can we get another round of applause for Liza? See, that's why I invited her. This was lovely. Thank you so much. We normally do questions, but I'm so sorry, we're kind of running out of time, and I want to be respectful with the Morgan team. So those who were called earlier, the 30-second pitches, please come on up.
As our 30-second pitchers come to the stage, I'm going to remind you, 30-second pitch friends, that I will do a bell when you have 10 seconds left, and I will go like this when your time is up. So please make sure to respect the time so everyone can go. All right, come on up. And if you say your name, all of their information is going to be shared in the follow-up email, so no need to write vigorously. No need to. Hi, go ahead. It's your turn.
Good morning. My name is Patrick Davis. Last year, I retired from the police department, NYPD. I did 27 years, and to say the least, I was not. Thank you. I was not living the healthiest lifestyle. But when I retired, I met someone, and they took me to a yoga session, and I fell in love with yoga. And that interest in yoga led me to acrobatics, handstands, and performance arts, which I do now. So. So my Instagram right now is the Acro Cop. I try to introduce acro yoga to people who may not be exposed to it. I do terminology, safety, and poses. And then we're co-hosting a club on June 29th at our Moving Speakeasy in Union Square, which is a very enjoyable experience. If you want to see me, thank you. If you want to see me afterwards, I can tell you all about it. Thank you.
Raise your hand if you've ever practiced yoga. Okay, raise your hand if you've never practiced yoga because you think you're bad at it. Okay, I think I see a couple hands up there. Well, I'm here to tell you that you have been lied to and you may be entitled to compensation. My name is Divya. I'm a yoga teacher as well. So I started this practice 21 years ago, but 6 years is how long I've been teaching it as well. And as of 2 weeks ago, I put a pin in my corporate career in tech and decided to start doing this full time. So the events that I host incorporate decolonized yoga and the limbs of philosophy outside of just movement. So if you're someone who works at a company that is thinking about how we can incorporate movement and yoga along with mission-focused work or social justice, and you want to lead interactive workshops, I'm your girl. You can find me at Divya Bala.
Hi, my name is Ben Farber. I am a graphic designer, but really a visual storyteller, and I have a project that I'm trying to get off the ground. It's titled Born by Water. It's a short-form video, and I'm looking for editors, with editing suites who know Final Cut or any of those type of things. I have a storyboard. I have everything ready to go, and I just love this Friday morning. I want to say I'm an OG, and the story of this tattoo, I was born in 1972, but I was actually reborn in 1977, and that's what this is. So that's the story, and find me and we can talk.
I'm Sharon. I'm an architect in San Francisco. I'm thrilled to be finishing a confidential project for a famous fruit company. Starts with an A. You might be holding one of their products in your hand. But next week, I'm very happy to be creating a setting for those with mental illness and behavioral health issues that is safe and nurturing. I'm also an associate professor or full professor now at the University of California, San Francisco, teaching in the graduate division. At the end of that quarter, those physicians and scientists learn just how creative all of us are. Thank you.
I love 30-second pitches so much. I want to do events hours long, just you guys coming up. Okay, so before I let you all go and roam in the exhibition halls, I want to say thank you to our incredible volunteers. Without them, these events would never be as smooth. Abby, Alicia, Angelica, Brian, Brianna, Caitlin, Danielle, Exa, Ella, Finn, Katie, Kevin, Krista, Lena, Leah, Lenny, Maria, Megan, Oriana, Ricardo, Sky, Sue, Whitney, so many. Thank you. And thanks to Connie, you can watch these talks again. Connie has volunteered for us for 8 years, I think. And Nelson as well. Nelson, thank you so much you always make us look so good on your photos. And then thanks to Liana, there was a live stream, and thanks to Rosario. Thank you so much for being here today. And then thank you, Autumn, for signing our event today. And next month, we're going to be back at New Lab in Brooklyn, and we will be back with our 4th edition of The Beloved New York is Creative, where you can get a chance to tell us about your side project. And it's a fast, heartfelt celebration of the messy, personal, beautiful process of making. You can find out how to apply to be on stage in the follow-up email. Trust me, this will be fun. And as always, I will leave you with a quote. This one is by Ross Gay. Noticing what we love in common and studying that might help us survive. So thank you for joining us today. Here in the room. Thank you, Team Morgan. Now go enjoy the exhibition.